Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in to URL's ICHRA Awareness webinar series. We're actually at the second of 10 webinars that we're presenting to our brokers, and hopefully it will help drive awareness, understanding of the ICHRA markets. This morning we visited with Sureco. This afternoon, we will visit with Benefit Bay, as you can see on your screen. I'll make those introductions in a few minutes, but we will have except for next Thursday, starting the 19th through October 10th, every Thursday from 10 to 11 and 2 to 3, we will visit with another ICHRA enrollment and election solution. So I encourage you to register. If you've registered for just one, that's fine. You will, even if you can't attend, you'll get a recorded version of it, and it's always available on our website. But I encourage you to register for all of them. Every solution has a niche, and the purpose is for you to get to know these election and enrollment solutions better so that you are more successful in your business. I want to draw your attention very quickly to a few items. To screen right, there are handouts. You can see some information about URL. And also the chat feature. If you can just type your questions into the chat feature, we'll answer those, as Ryan and Kevin deem fit. But keep your questions coming. I encourage any and all questions. It's how we all learn, and I think it's important that we do so. A few stats for you before I turn it over. 94% of all ALEs, which are groups of more than 50 employees, offer group health insurance currently. And that stat hasn't necessarily changed a whole lot in the last 10 years. But what happens is, these groups have gone from medically underwriting or underwritten plans. They've narrowed networks. They've gone to level funded. They've gone to true self-funded. They've probably explored consortiums or even captives. But the truth of the matter is that eventually they price out. So another stat to share with you is 42% of all medium and large groups are going to be exploring ICHRAs. So for me, that represents opportunity to talk to those groups, those large groups that currently have something in place, because they are looking for another solution. They are tapping out of the traditional group health markets. And then again, the 42% that are looking to explore. Educate yourself, learn about it, get your talking points so that you can better prepare yourselves for these sales and for the success. To that end, I want to introduce Ryan Argotsinger. He is the principal consultant for Benefit Bay. And we also have Kevin Nichols, who is the VP of Customer Success. So, gentlemen, I really appreciate your time today, and hopefully you'll get a lot of great questions, and we look forward to your presentation. So take it away.
Awesome. Thank you for that intro, and good job on pronouncing my last name correctly. That is hard to do a lot of times. So congratulations on that. So again, my name is Ryan Argotsinger. I'm our principal consultant here at Benefit Bay. And so a lot of my job is having these initial conversations, with brokers, with employers. I even have them with, insurance carriers about the ICHRA space, and just kind of talking through what that looks like and how we can make that experience better for, you all as brokers and then your clients. And so a little bit of background on me. I'm a huge golfer, played college golf and then after golf as well. And so if, you've got that tournament and you need the fourth golfer, I will gladly oblige and join your team so we can hit those links together. But yeah, happy to be here, happy to be presenting. I'll go through the majority of these slides, but we do have Kevin on as well. So I'll let him introduce himself.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, great to meet all of you guys. Again, appreciate the opportunity to connect. To Ryan's point, we're really focused in on this ICHRA space. My core kind of history started early days when HSAs were brand new to the industry, and so starting working with agents in health savings accounts and HRAs as a TPA, um, moving into the software and insurance tech software space, and now being a part of the founding team with Benefit Bay, really focusing back in on my core value, which is supporting the current ecosystem of benefits. I've worked with insurance agents my whole career now, empowering them to, or you guys, to help your customers. And so, as Ryan will talk, that's a big inflection point for us. We really do see that as a niche or a differentiator for us. As was mentioned in the marketplace, our go-to-market strategy is you and making you successful in your markets and with your employer groups. And so we've built a lot of tools and systems to help you do that, along with, of course, your employer groups and your employees. So I'll be definitely manning the Q&A as well. So if you've got questions, feel free to pop those in there as Ryan gets rolling.
Perfect. Sounds great. Thank you for that, Kevin. And just to further the point of who we service, who we are at Benefit Bay, the software that we've provided is surrounded by the agent. We have created an agent-enabled ICHRA solution tool for you all to be active with your clients, and then your clients can also have access to this software as well. We've seen that has created a great ICHRA experience because all of the users involved do have visibility, right? We want you all as agents to be able, to quote ICHRA and see if it is a good fit for some of your groups. We want you as agents to be able to help the employer understand what ICHRA is. How much do they have to offer? What do the plans look like? What does that employee experience look like? Being able to consolidate this entire process into one software, we've seen a lot of success with, and that's what we're going to talk through today, is the software. And so how we support you all as agents in the ICHRA journey is definitely through the software that we provide. And so that is a core business strategy of ours. We believe in the value that you all as agents bring to your clients, right? You're their trusted advisor. We want to help support you all in continuing to be that trusted advisor. And we've got the software solution to help you talk through the ICHRA journey. And so we'll do a brief overview of our product. And so when I talk about the ICHRA journey, right, there's a lot that goes into that, right? So the initial piece of you all as agents quoting it, right? Let's see if ICHRA does make sense, all the way through to that employee enrolling in coverage. That is completed on the Benefitbay system. And so you will hear me say visibility and transparency a lot in this presentation. And really, it's because it is essential for that good experience for you as an agent and for your employers to have that capability. We think that, and we see that all users should have the visibility into actions that they're taking. You all should have access to the visibility for your groups. Transparently, we've heard that there has been a lack of transparency in the ICHRA space. And so we're trying to, or I guess we should say, we are winning these businesses because of the transparency that we provide to you all. So excited to talk through that today and talk through that entire Benefit Bay journey from quoting all the way through to that employee enrolling. And so the first piece that I want to talk through is going to be this Fulcrum quoting tool. And so Benefit Bay, we are the only ICHRA solution that puts the power of this personalized benefits quoting in your hands as the agent, right? This will allow you guys that faster time to deliver that client request. And really, you can look at ICHRA for your entire book of business. And so we call this our Fulcrum tool. And this tool will allow you to efficiently add these proposals, right, to all of your groups. Provide that extra support, show your groups, hey, this is what the individual market looks like. Whether it's a good fit or not, you're still providing value to them and getting that conversation going in that renewal conversation. And so this is a big differentiator that we've seen in the ICHRA space, right? Instead of waiting the days to weeks to get that RFP sent back from the TPA, agents who partner with us at Benefit Bay, they can quote ICHRA using this Fulcrum tool at any day, at any time, without that delay of the TPA, right? Agents can get in here, run that. And so we're going to dig a little bit into what this quote actually is and how we support you all. And so what we want to do is help make this comparison as like to like. And so what we're looking at here is you can change this comparison based on these benchmark plans. And so if the group is on a lower level benefit, right, we would want to map them to a bronze level plan or a silver level plan. Same thing with gold. If they're on a rich benefit, we want to map them to that gold level plan. So I'll pause this really quickly. This is a very powerful bar chart, right? We're pulling in what the group is currently spending on the group space. We're pulling in that renewal, right? We've got the 10-20% renewal that's becoming pretty common in that group space. And then the right side, we're showing what the individual market does for the ICHRA conversation. And as I mentioned earlier, right, if that bar chart is way higher than the renewal, you're looking at value saying, hey, we understand you're getting the 20% renewal on the group space, but the individual market is more expensive than that. And so that 20% increase could be the most financial viable option.
Hey, Ryan, you're coming in and out.
Okay, here, let me see if I can change my my audio really quickly. Did it just start or was it the entire presentation?
It's been sporadic, but it's
okay.
been, yeah.
Okay. Let me go ahead and try and change that really quickly. Okay, let's do a test there.
Yeah, it seems to be more consistent. Oh, nope, now I don't hear you at all.
We don't hear you at all now, Ryan.
There,
it's all the way off.
Okay, how about that? And can we test that a little bit better? Does that sound better?
Yeah, I think yes.
Okay, perfect. Apologize for that. Sometimes, technology, we love it. Some days it's tough to work with, and so yeah, apologize. Hopefully this
No. All right, thanks, Ryan.
You got it. Yeah, so I'll talk back here. We'll start over on what this video was it is a quoting tool that agents, they can get in here, they can run the quote, they can see if ICHRA is a good fit for their groups. And what we have created and how we can help support you all as agents in getting this comparison, as like to like as possible is one through these benchmark tiers, right? So if we know they're on a rich benefit on the group side, we would want to map them to a gold level benchmark tier on the individual side. If they're getting a lower level benefit on the group side, we would want to map them to a silver or bronze level plan so we can get this comparison as like to like as possible. And this bar chart, is very powerful, meaning, right, we're showing what they're currently spending on the group space. We're showing that 10-20% renewal, and then we're mapping the individual side. And so the agents who see a lot of success with Benefitbay, they're getting this proposal or this bar chart and all of those renewal conversations with their clients. Now, if the bar chart looks like this, great, ICHRA makes financial sense. Let's talk through the details of what that actually looks like. If that bar chart, is more expensive than that 20% renewal, the agents are still providing that trust to the client saying, hey, I understand you're getting a 20% renewal on the group space, but the individual market is more expensive than that. And so we want to help support you all as agents in getting this in those conversations And this Fulcrum tool allows you to have a good tool set to be able to start that conversation. So we can get pretty detailed into this analysis. If we open up, this default, we can see every single employee on this census. We can see what they're currently spending. We can see what that individual rate looks like. And we also can get into mapping what's called preferred or recommended plans. And so what that means is, if they're on a specific carrier, with a $2,000 deductible on the group side, and that carrier has a $2,000 deductible plan on the individual market, we can map those employees to that plan to get this apples to apples as possible. And so there's a lot of great tools in this Fulcrum quoting tool set. And so we're happy to partner with agents and support agents and having this conversation. That's a lot of the questions that I get from agents is, well, how do I even present it, to my clients, or how do I even talk about it with my clients? And so what we've seen is talking through this macro view of a financial comparison is a great first step. See if there's an incentive to switch over to ICHRA. You can talk through the details of that later on. And so I just want to focus on this bar chart again, because it is super powerful. It is a piece that agents are seeing a ton of success with in having the conversation, right? Too common these days on the group side of hearing about these increases. Or, right, you've got groups that have really low participation. You've got some groups who maybe have a really few high claimants, and they're expecting to get, hit pretty hard on that group side. Being able to get a simple bar chart comparison into that conversation is really important. And so just want to focus on that really quickly as well. Okay, so that first piece, right, let's look at it from a financial incentive macro view. What does the premium cost look like compared to what they're currently on? And then that second step is going to be talking through that employer contributions. And so one, we can help the employer understand what they're required to offer, right, if they're a large employer. And then two, how much they actually want to give to their employees. And so the benefit-based system, we've created an easy to use modeling tool that really can help these employers in this conversation decide how much they want to contribute to their employees. And so I'll play this video as well, and we can go through how we help the employer understand, those requirements. And so what we're looking at here is specific age groups. And so for this age group, right, we're showing each employee, we're showing their zip codes of where they're living, right? We're showing how much money they're making. We know the lowest silver premium in their specific zip code, so we can calculate that ICHRA minimum or affordability number on an individual level. And so we can show that for every employee in this age group. Now, the reason that employer minimum is $259, right? We also have the 3-to-1 non-discrimination rule built into this modeling tool set. And so this tool will only allow compliant contribution structures to be set up. And so it does have those two pieces built in so that we, or agents, the Benefitbay team, when we're working in this, those contributions will be compliant and meet those affordability numbers. And so it is important to have a tool to be able to talk through that with them, right? Instead of just sending them, reimbursement schedule saying, hey, this is what you should offer. We want to tell them this is why you should offer that. This is why you're required to offer that. And so agents have seen a lot of success with this tool in talking through that contribution conversation. Now, once we get these sets, we do have that reimbursement type schedule that the employer can see, right? So they will have one of these schedules created, with the different age bands, if they're based, classed out based on state, et cetera. They will have a reimbursement schedule so that employer understands, if I have an employee who is this age and this class, this is how much I'm going to be contributing to them. And so the software does have this easy export of the reimbursement schedule, so employers can visualize, this contribution structure a little bit better. But I will say that benefit-based system is designed, to be dynamic for you as the agent. And so again, we do see a lot of our agency partners, they have a lot of success utilizing that modeling tool that we were just previously looking at to hop on the call with the client, show them what those numbers are in the Benefit Bay portal. But we do also have this PDF export that agents can utilize as well. And so those are the first two steps, right? Let's quote it. Let's see what that looks like, switching over to ICHRA from group. Second piece, let's talk through the contribution conversation, how much they have to offer, how much they want to offer. And then we can talk through, that employer-employee experience. So I do see a question in there about the size of group that we work with. And so I would say because of the technology that we've been providing, we have been getting into the larger group space recently within the last few years. And what that means is, the multi-hundred life groups, we've actually been getting into, the 1,000 life groups as well. And so ICHRA is and can be a good fit for a range of, size groups. And there we go, Kevin, adding a little bit to that chat. We have seen, the multi-hundred is where we've had the most success. Over 50 life groups would probably be, on the lower end. If they're under 50, they might not utilize all the tool sets in the Benefit-Bay system. And so over 50 lives, we can talk through the affordability contributions. We can help the employer understand that process is probably on the lower end. And then we definitely have those groups and, the multi-thousand lives. And because we can quote that, quickly, or the agents can quote it quickly, they're seeing a lot of success in presenting it to their clients. Okay. So we're going to transition a little bit over into, the employer's view in the Benefit-Bay system and the enrollment experience. And so we touched on the quoting side of you as the agent, right? You guys have your own access to the Benefit-Bay system. Employers also have their own access to the Benefit-Bay system. And so employers can track these enrollment experiences that their employees are going through. You all as agents can see everything that the employer can see as well. And so for this specific enrollment conversation, right, if we get in here and we see, man, we've got 44, employees who have not started, we can talk through how we can help educate those employees and get them into the Benefit-Bay system to complete their shopping. And so this is a big piece that we've seen a lot of success with as well, right? Employees are shopping in the Benefit-Bay system, so we can show what that enrollment period does look like, right? We want to be able to help those employees who have not taken an action and get them through that shopping experience. And so part of the success, or what is dependent on a successful enrollment experience, is definitely through education. And so the Benefit-Bay team does support all of these different users through the ICHRA journeys in many ways. And so we have a customer success team here at Benefit-Bay that supports you all as agents, as well as your clients. But our knowledge base is also a great resource. And so that CSM team will help you guys understand what this knowledge base is. And so agents, employers and employees, just like you all have your own access to the Benefit-Bay system, you all have your own knowledge base as well. And so this knowledge base has a plethora of materials or informational documents that helps with the communication. And so for the employee communication, how we support the employees understanding what ICHRA is, what the transition over to Benefit-Bay looks like, is in this knowledge base. So for example, right, new employees or renewal employees, terminated employees, this knowledge base provides templates that employers can use to send communications to those employees. And so what we're looking at right now is that employer resource page. And one of the most common, I would say, communication resources that employers utilize is the new employee communication and education for enrollments. And so a few of those examples are, like an announcement of ICHRA communication. And so we'll tell you in this knowledge base, hey, when does this need to be sent? Who should this be sent to? Open enrollment starting in 5 days, open enrollment starting tomorrow. Those are different tool sets or different, actions of the journey that our CSM team helps support you all and your clients in that education. And so it is extremely important that these employees do understand what the transition looks like, what their actions in the Benefit-Bay system would look like, And we provide that through these email templates so that that employer can send it to their employees. Typically an employee is going to open something from their HR a lot quicker than, a TPA that they may not have heard of before. And so that's why we want to provide it.
You're frozen again, Ryan. Oh, there you go.
Man, rough day for Ryan in the technology. Apologize for that as well. But just going back to this enrollment period, you can use this tool from an agent or an employer's perspective, to send those communications. And so if we do see the 44 individuals, right, we can bulk send hey, you need to get into your Benefitbay system, you need to complete your shopping. But also if there's one or two employees, right, that they're the last ones we're waiting on, we can get in on that individual level down here and send those communications, on an individual basis as well. And so education is really important, for these employees to have a successful enrollment experience. And so our customer success team is definitely excited to help you all and your employer clients through that education piece. Okay. So once we get to that enrollment experience from the employee's perspective, it is all completed on the Benefitbay system. And so this is just a screenshot of what part of that journey looks like. But shopping for the personalized benefits is always going to be completed on the Benefitbay platform, right? And so we want to create an experience that is simple for those employees. And we accomplish that by keeping them in the Benefitbay system for shopping. These employees are not sent out to third parties for enrollments. That can create a lot of confusion for that employee, and it really can put them at risk of being enrolled in an incorrect plan as well. And so since they're shopping in the Benefitbay system, we can validate that these employees are getting enrolled in the correct plan and their payment method is set up correctly. And so all of this is going to be validated in the Benefitbay system. Since the shopping piece is web enabled, employees who are self-sufficient, right, they can log into their Benefitbay system and complete their shopping without ever talking to a human. Now, there will always be employees who do need assistance and they want to talk to an enrollment counselor. And so that's what we're looking at the bottom of this screen, that need help selecting a plan. Employees will always have access to hit that link, schedule a time with the enrollment counselors, talk to a human to help walk through, in this example, what the difference between those 96 plans are. And so if you do have more questions on the employee enrollment experience, we'd love to schedule a personal demo to walk through all of the details of that. And so happy to connect with you guys after this call if that's something that you would like to see more information into. One of the biggest pieces of success we have seen, or the most utilized piece of that employee shopping experience, is searching for their providers, right? And so employees being able to search for their doctor, make sure their doctor is in network for whichever carrier, whichever plan they're looking at, is really important. And so those employees going through the system can do this and input whichever doctor they're looking for, right? If they do have a pediatrician they want to make sure is in network for their child, they can do that as well. And so just want to point that out in the employee experience. There are a lot of tools to help the employees be self-sufficient as well. Okay, so I'll briefly touch on banking here on this page and then hand it over to Kevin to get into more details on it. But from a big, broad picture, right, the payment process is going to be utilized through what's called these advanced reimbursement checking accounts. And so the ARC accounts is what we call them here at Benefitbay. What we've created is a process that seems as similar to what goes on in group, meaning the employer is going to fund these premiums up front, right, on a month-to-month basis, and then payroll deduct any portion that employee is responsible for. And so this process, it allows for that universal auto pay to these carriers, right? So it's an easy to use premium for employers and their employees. And so from a broad view, from a 1,000-foot view, that's how it works. Kevin's very involved with our customer success and the employers and the banking process and that journey that those clients take. And so I do want to hand it over to him really quickly and talk through some of these details of why it's important that these payment processes are being done in the Benefitbay system and that visibility into all of those transactions. And so, Kevin, I'll let you hop in here.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Hopefully my audio will work or at least be consistent. Let me know if it's getting sketchy as well. So like to Ryan's point again, love all the questions. So keep those coming, and you guys are doing, great job. Glad you're engaged on that piece. The front end quoting and sales tools on how do you present ICHRA, something that we're super passionate about. We know helps you continue to deliver success to your customers, get the right customers into the ICHRA space, right? And that idea of is it a fit or not is so important because groups that aren't a good fit for ICHRA are only going to continue to make a difficult situation for, of course, our partner agents and ultimately their employees. And so we don't want to see that. On the opposite side, for those groups that are a good fit and start to move forward with the onboarding experience, the employees having access to the shopping and picking the plans available, understanding the context of the pre-tax and post-tax and a lot of the complexities that we're happy to dig into, on a more one-to-one basis as we look at the system with you, if that's something you're interested in. This banking piece is one of the sticky wickets for ICHRA or could be, right? And so employees having to pay up front, a traditional HRA experience where I pay something and you reimburse me doesn't work well with premiums. And so to Ryan's point, we've solved that problem, not uniquely anymore. It was unique early on in our business, but this seems to be more common now. Working directly with carriers using an ACH payment. So what this is not is a card or some external transaction experience. This is a true ACH bank account payment, which is universally accepted by the carriers. So you're not going to have some carriers that take it. Some folks you have to reimburse because the carriers don't take a card or some payment method. Insurance carriers are all great at taking money from a bank account and paying those premiums. You can set that up on auto pay because those premium transactions are happening every month. And so what we're looking at on the screen, again, from a transparency and a visibility standpoint, as an employer or as the agent, this is the screen that manages all of that banking on platform. So, we'll talk a little bit and I'll kind of allude to some of the reasons why this year in particular, we've seen a lot of groups that love ICHRA. They love this idea of personalized benefits for their folks. But the deployment of that hasn't worked well on other solutions, right? So again, obviously, we're really glad to be partnering with this webinar and know that you guys are hearing from a lot of different vendors, which is important. Make sure you do your due diligence. This banking piece and this whole idea of paying premiums to the carriers has been something that we've found this year. We just got done with a group, about 2,500 employees that has had ICHRA almost since the beginning. They were early adopters to ICHRA with, probably an ICHRA partner you could all name, but it wasn't going well. And ultimately, this middle of the year, June, they made a transition over to Benefitbay, and this banking was the driving force. They had no access to where their funds were at. They're paying premiums up front, and those monies were going to the carrier, but no transparency or visibility into the transactions, no true ability to get a reconciliation of I've paid $10 million in premiums. Where did that $10 million go? And so ultimately, we worked through the whole process. They had a lot of folks, unfortunately, that the carrier wasn't actually getting the premiums. So the company was being charged, but the carrier premiums weren't being paid out of whatever payment method they were supposed to be having happen. And so we had to go through the process of carriers getting employees reinstated and, backdating coverage. And it was really difficult for this customer. But now they're very comfortable. And so, what we see on this screen is how we manage all of that on our platform, how we provide you and your employers with the access to make sure that's not happening. So every dollar and penny is accounted for. Every transaction is showing in one system. We're not reimbursing some folks outside of the system or on payroll, and then some folks are going through this. Every employee, whether they're on the Medicare or whether they're on an individual plan, is using our ARC transaction experience and able to then be seen in the platform. The corporate account, so there's one master account that's funded by the employer between the 10th and the 15th of every month. for the totality of the premiums. This shows the math because all of that enrollment and data is in our system. We can help that employer project what the next month's fundings are going to be. So they know, hey, we've had 5 new joiners and the policies they've elected are going to cost us another $5,000 or $500. That ability is there. Or we had some folks leave and our expected premium goes down next month. So all of that transparency is core to our system. And missing premiums is one of those reports on the top there. Things happen. Carrier stops taking an auto payment for whatever reason, employee changed something. There's reasons why payments don't match every month. And so our system's already on the AI side of it, matching expected premium to paid premium every day. And so let's go ahead and click to the next slide real quick. As an example, the ARC transactions that are available. Oh, this is the reporting side. Maybe I put it in the wrong order. So from transactions, I can see, go ahead, that's fine. Go ahead and go back to that side. I can see every line item, I saw Anthem's premium came out. I saw Kaiser's premium came out. I saw United Healthcare's premium came out. And so that ability to visualize each transaction in the system, one, allows finance teams, and again, this team had no accounting prior to where any of their dollars went. Now they have a line-by-line option or ability to pull those transactions down and reconcile it, a reconciliation report. But most importantly, I know in the software that John's premium is $562.48. And every month I match a transaction of that amount. Now it changes. John had a baby and added it to the plan and we didn't know, right? He didn't go through the qualifying event experience, but all of a sudden John's premium is different. Our system flags it. Our support team manages that conversation. We get the premium the policy premium updated, and now we're back on track. Or Junie did the right thing. She went and got her mammogram, and that carrier is rewarding her for that great choice by giving a premium discount. Again, same situation. There wasn't a negative outcome, but the premium didn't match to the penny. And so we're going to work through that situation, validate that $20 discount or $50 discount on the monthly premium isn't going to continue to happen. It's just applied to the month of June, for example. So all of that is such an important aspect. And again, why we've seen in this particular this particular year in general, customers that love ICHRA, but know that it can be done better. And so for your customers, as you get to look at ICHRA the right way up front, ask about the banking. Make sure that you understand all of this has to be in one system. When banking's in another system and the policies and the enrollments in the ICHRA system, there's no connection. And so you get to this place where nobody really knows, did that premium get paid? And John's coverage is still active until John shows up at the doctor and they say, yeah, sorry, you don't have coverage. And now it's too late. So we want to make sure we handle all of those pieces up front. Go to the next page. As well as just in general, right? The ability to download and access reports ad hoc, right? Live and in the system is something that was just a foundation of how we built our platform. There's no emailing a customer rep at the vendor and waiting there hoping a report comes back. So things like active coverage summary. This is all of my active employees. What products are enrolled on? Are they enrolled in an HSA eligible product or not? Are they enrolled as family tier, employee tier? How much is the employer, et cetera? So all of the data about our active enrollment accessible. Payroll changes. This is going to create a payroll report. And so if I only had 2 new joiners during the last month, I don't need to download a whole new payroll deduction file, although I could. I can just see the 2 changes that need to be made or updated into payroll. Other things like the reimbursement schedule, again, something that we didn't recognize isn't common sometimes. This is your static document. This is your adopted reimbursement schedule. It's fixed. It's what's getting applied to every employee during the year. We've had another group that's wanting to come over to Benefit Bay where the employer truly has no document that states what the HRA should be. And so one of the things they're experiencing is new hires are getting different amounts than they expect. And there's no validation towards that. Of course, 1095 data is so important. And all of that with lowest silver plans and affordability and all of that calculations that we are doing in the system is also available either to extract and use with payroll or whatever vendor you want, or to partner with our ACA vendor for that filing. And then PCOR reports, again, active numbers for the month to month. So data accessible both for you as the agency, right? So we want you to have that power to go in, grab those reports and support your groups, and at the employer level as well.
This page
also just goes, into that transparency, visibility, and the reason I mentioned that at the beginning is, one, because of what we're seeing, with clients who we've had on our system. They need that transparency, and then candidly from groups who are in, as Kevin mentioned, ICHRA experiences where they don't have that transparency. It's really important, that we can provide you all as agents and that client, with a transparent solution for all the journey. And so banking, as he said, definitely understand how that process works with your vendor, and then reporting visibility documents as well. And so we'll transition over into, how you all get paid. It's definitely, one of the exciting pieces of the ICHRA journey, right? And so what we're looking at is the employer ICHRA costs. And so this is what the fee structure would look like for those groups implementing ICHRA on the Benefitbay system. And so the employer is going to have that $250 open enrollment fee, right? So every time they go through their open
Ryan, you cut out again.
This is okay. Are we hearing it okay now? Okay. Sorry about that. Headphones and the computer is just not cooperating today. But for the employer costs, right, they're going to have $250 open enrollment fee. Benefitbay charges a $20 PEPM, or per enrolled per month. We do have the $200 monthly administrative fee. And so if we do have those smaller groups, they would incur, the $200 a month. As we mentioned earlier, we're seeing a lot more success with those larger groups, multi-100, 1,000-life groups. Then down at the bottom, right, this PEPM agency consulting fee, this is determined by you as the broker. And so this is how you guys are going to get paid, right, through ICHRA. If you want to charge a $20 PEPM or a $45 PEPM, it's whatever you all as agents are comfortable with, whatever you see fit for that group. Benefitbay is going to invoice to that employer that's saying Benefitbay is charging a $20 PEPM. They're charging your agency X, and then we're going to remit that back to you as the agency consulting fee. And so going back to that transparency, it's important to us to show where every benefit dollar is going. And so that is why that employer gets that consolidated invoice, so that they are, they have the visibility into the fees that they're paying. Okay. And so a few additional points that we want to touch on before, we end here, right? That niche, as we mentioned, from a size, a group size, over 50, multi-100, industry-wise, what we've been seeing a lot of success with, healthcare industry, restaurant industry, hospitality industry. We've seen some of those larger groups really have a successful implementation, switching over to ICHRA. As Kevin mentioned, there is a different journey for these ICHRA groups that currently are on ICHRA with a different vendor, and transitioning them over. One of the, biggest pain points, I would say, or transitioning over, right, is making sure that we can create that contribution structure, to what they're currently doing. And so when we've got some groups who don't have a report of what that contribution structure looks like, that can be difficult. One key piece that I want to touch on for that employee experience, since they're shopping in the Benefitbay system, when it comes to the renewal time, these employees, when they come into their Benefitbay profile, they're going to see that one plan that they enrolled in last year, right? They're going to see the change in premium, but that renewal experience can be very simple for them. Log in, verify their information, see that one renewal plan, and that's going to be their entire journey. And so we've seen a lot of success with these ICHRA clients going into year 2 or year 3 or 4 of the ICHRA journey, because the shopping is all consolidated in the Benefitbay system. That renewal experience is very simple for them. And so wanted to touch on that as well. And then I think we had one more question. Let's go over and see. Referring brokers compensate. Yeah. And so, the broker of record conversation to be able to service these, throughout the year with these carriers, like Kevin mentioned in the payment piece of being able to track that and being able to audit that. It's very important that we can service it with, these carriers. And so, the Benefit Bay name will be the BOR on these lives. And we can talk through, what that commission does look like if you all as agents want to be involved in helping the employees, make that decision of what is the difference between these, 95 plans. But the benefit-based system, that's the reason why our name is the BOR, so we can actually service that client throughout the year so that those employees have a good, ICHRA journey and a good platform. And so I'll end it with that. We do have a few extra minutes. And so if you guys do have more questions, we're definitely happy to answer those at this point.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the presentation, gentlemen. I think it's very common, and I think that is part of a difficult transition for an agent, a broker that has had a long-term relationship with an employer group, giving up that broker of record. But it's just a different way of looking at how they are attached to that group. They're now really a consulting, taking on more of a consulting sort of role, and they can replace that compensation, the commissions, with the fees that they build in. So it is really a lateral move, and just a new way to look at things. And again, groups are looking to have people that know discuss this with them. Whether they flip the switch this year or next, they are going to be flipping the switch because groups are running out of options. So I would encourage everyone that is on the webinar to reach out to Ryan and to Kevin if they have any opportunities in their current block. They can certainly help out. Also, just to note, again, our next series, September 19th from 10 to 11, we'll have People Keep. And then on September 19th from 2 to 3, we'll have Capital Blue Cross. And Capital Blue Cross, I invited some of the local carriers because I thought it was important to discuss with you as brokers how our local carriers are adapting to the influx and increase in the ICHRA business. And I think, Capital has made great leaps and bounds and really has been at the forefront of supporting these ICHRA groups transitioning, to ICHRA and making sure the customer experience on their end is also a pleasant one. It's an evolving business. It's an evolving model, but we have all the tools. ICHRA at urlinsgroup.com. You can reach out to any of us with any questions. And again, I encourage you to reach out to Ryan and to Kevin and schedule that demo and talk about what your particular groups or ones that you're courting, how they can benefit from working with Benefit Bay. Any last words, gentlemen?
Apologies for the technical difficulties.
Yeah, we didn't hear that anyway, so no, I'm kidding.
That would be fitting. Yeah. That would be fitting.
Right. Glad to be a part. Welcome all y'all. And again, ICHRA is here, right? So I think that's my last words is we know it's something you're being asked about and we want to support you. So anyway, we can help that. Let us know.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again. And everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.